guys, this is Grandma Cheep Cheep, and welcome back to my vintage kitchen here in southern Colorado. The grocery stores are full of spring offerings, and they're beautiful asparagus, fruits like strawberries, and the strawberries were so beautiful today I couldn't resist, so I bought a pound or a package of them. And today what I'm going to do is make some strawberry cookie bars, and they're very simple to make, and me and Mr. will love them this evening with a cup of tea. Okay, what we have here is 1 1/2 cup of flour, and I'm going to put that in my sifter here. 1 cup of sugar, and I'm just going to use half of that sugar right now and reserve the other half. Okay, that's enough. I have 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to put that in my dry ingredients as well. And that's all for right now. Let me move out some of this and just sift my flour. I do have a regular sifter, but if you think that this is very powdery now, you should see the old-fashioned sifter. It was like Casper the Friendly Ghost was in there. And this is the reason why you sift flour. This isn't impurities necessarily, but you get lumps of flour like that, and you don't want that in your baked goods. So that is what we have. To this dry mixture, which is flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt, I'm going to add 1 stick of butter that is cold and has been cut up in cubes. And what I'm going to do now is take my cutter, my pastry blend, and just blend this up where it will come out in roughly pieces the size of peas. So you just cut through your butter and your flour mixture, run it through, and just do this again until you get, like I said, pea-sized pieces. I'm going to go away and continue to work on this, and when I come back I'll show you the results of how your mixture should look, okay? This is the size that I wanted my pea-sized pieces. They may not all be pea-sized, but they're fairly well incorporated into this flour, sugar, salt, and baking powder mixture. It's pretty good. Now, those of you who want to use your food processor, have at it. I just didn't want the cleanup. It took me about 3 minutes to do this, and I'm happy for that. All I have to do is clean the pastry blend, and I'm not going to put that in my dishwasher. I can just put that in the sink, and I'm out of there. Okay, so to this, I'm going to add 1 egg. Oops. And just blend that until it is smooth. Now, it said that my carton said it was a large egg, but actually it looks pretty small to me. I'll keep working on that, but in the meantime, while I'm working on it, I'm going to put the remainder of my sugar and about 3 teaspoons of cornstarch to my strawberries, that has been hulled and coarsely chopped. Now by hulled, I mean that I went in and took out the center part. The center part is usually white and doesn't show any signs of ripeness, and you don't want that in a dessert such as this. So I'll show you what hulling means for those of you who are new to the kitchen, or just want to know, or if you do know. I'm gonna just make sure that all my strawberries, my beautiful strawberry babies, are sugared up. Okay, now I'm gonna let that marinate. And on my cutting board, the strawberry, see how beautiful they are? To hull them mean that you want to get this green part out of there and the white part as well. So what I do is take my paring knife, go down, and just cut all around that center. And see, that whole thing came out. You see that white part? Actually, there's more in here that I'm going to take out as well. And this is a hulled strawberry. What I did was just cut it in half, cut the half into 3 sections, and just chop it. Okay, now if you don't hull a strawberry, this is what happens. You just cut it across. You still have that white pithy part in there, and I guess you could eat it because we do eat whole dipped strawberries, but it's been my experience that that white part just isn't ripe enough, and especially at this time of year, because these strawberries probably were picked well before they actually were ripe. They look pretty, but you know, who knows what degree of ripeness they are. Okay, so that was my strawberries that I hulled and I chopped, and of course washed. Okay, now back to my crust. What's going to be our bar, the crust of our cookie bar. By 11 pan. I have a pat of butter here, and I'm just going to take a paper toweling and just grease my pan. I'm going to use about over half of my flour mixture to make my cookie bar bottom. And I'm just going to push down on it in every corner to make sure that I have a nice bottom. By the way, my oven is preheating to 350, and as I said before, 350 for me is the universal bake temperature unless I indicate otherwise. But 350, you can usually cook anything safely. Now my strawberries that has been saturated with the sugar and cornstarch, I'm going to pour over my flour mixture here. And I'm going to make sure all the bottom bar of my cookie bar, is covered with some yumminess of the strawberry. That looks pretty good. Every little inch has some strawberry coating. Alright. Now with some of my crumbs, I'm just going to put this on top lightly. And I like some bigger crumbs, so I'm just squeezing it together to make bigger crumbs on top. And because of the butter, you can squeeze it together to make bigger crumbs. And I'm going to step it up a notch. And I thought, how great would it be if I put white chocolate chips on there too? So I have some white chocolate chips, and I'm just going to sprinkle my top, not liberally, but some, with white chocolate chips. And that should bring it a whole another level of deliciousness. Okay, so that was maybe 1/4 of my bag. I'm going to put this in my oven at 350 for 40 minutes. At that time, I'm going to check on it to see if it's nice and golden brown. At that time, I will have to cool this down to room temperature and then cut it for us to have for dessert tonight or tomorrow, but it's going to be a couple of hours from now, and I don't like to tape that late. What I'll do is make sure that I take a picture of it, post it with this recipe. Please give me a thumbs up, rate, comment, and subscribe. You better believe this is going to be tasty. So until next time, this is Grandma Cheep Cheep saying goodbye now.